Hi friends, welcome to today's video. If you also crave more simplicity in life, this may be a great video for you. Today I want to give you 10 minimalist tips that help you keep your life simple. Hi, in case we don't know each other yet, my name is Freya. I'm an aspiring minimalist and a health nut, and I love finding more ways to simplify my life so I can spend my time and my capacity, my brain power, doing the things that matter the most. I just want to give you some suggestions today. These are things I do and they have helped simplify my life so much, and I know it is so useful just to simplify because let's face it, we all are in overload. A lot of the time we are bombarded by so much. So let's get started. The first tip I have is batch-like tasks. For example, I have 3 YouTube channels and I always plan ahead of time, and then whenever I get ready to shoot some videos, I try to batch like tasks as much as possible. For example, setting up my camera here and filming videos, I try to do more than one. When I film my singing tip videos for my main channel, I always film a bunch of them. I make a list. Also in the house, I always put a basket, for example, by the stairs, and then I never try to go empty-handed. I just batch what needs to go together and then take it where it needs to go. Or when I am in the kitchen, I try to do the same, like wash all dishes or take all the trash out while I'm at it. Just take 2 hands full instead of 1. Even when you meal prep, it can be so useful. While you're at cutting up veggies or produce, just go ahead and cut up a bunch of stuff. I always cut up veggies and fruits so they're easily eaten. I make veggies and dip. I make fruit like watermelon or nectarines or peaches. I cut them up, and because it makes it much more likely for everyone to eat them. And while I'm at it, I just try to cut up whatever needs to be cut up. Number 2, this has simplified my life, but it has also improved my finances so much. Put your bills and your savings on autopilot. I've talked about this before, and I have automatic bill pay for almost everything that is possible. There are only 2 or 3 bills every year that come in that I need to actually manually go in and pay and transfer money from my account. Everything else goes automatic. I also have an automatic budget, which means, I have the minimum amount that comes in every month, and that's what I base my budget on. I also have all my savings on autopilot. I have a specific amount of money that comes out every month for my investments. I have some ETFs, I have some stock, and I also have another savings account. I also have another type of investment. I may talk about this more in detail, but I have like 5 accounts where I put money, I disperse it. Also, my daughter gets some money every month. She has an investment account also, and that all is put on autopilot. Even if you can spare $10 every month, if you put it on autopilot to where you don't even see the money, it's going to make a huge difference. It really does add up. After 5 years, after 10 years, that is a nice sum of money. The third tip that I have is really think about ahead of time. What are you going to say yes to and what are you going to say no to? Whenever someone comes and asks you about committing time or resources, or when it comes to buying decision, whatever you want to purchase, you want to decide ahead of time, make rules for yourself, write them down. What is it that you're going to say yes to? Whenever I want to buy something, I actually write it down, and I decide ahead of time, this is how much money I would like to spend, no more than that. This is my upper limit. And also when it comes to commitments, I have very clear rules, what I will say yes to and what I say no to. Only if it's aligned with my long-term goals of what I really want in my life, that's when I'm going to say yes. Pretty much everything else I say no to. Of course, when there's a friend and they really need help or something, of course I'm going to help. I'm going to leave everything and just help when it's something really important. But it's so helpful ahead of time, because when the situation arises, or when we stand in front of that item and we love it so much, it's like, ooh, I really want to buy it. If we haven't actually set a rule ahead of time, we're going to get weak. We're going to just, say, oh, okay, well, I'll just do it. I'll commit to doing this, or I'll just buy this thing. And that's why it's so useful to make shopping lists even when you buy groceries, so that you don't always do those spontaneous purchases, but you just really buy what you need to buy. And I have a rule pretty much when I buy groceries. I don't buy any processed foods. I just buy my basics, all my basics. It's always pretty much the same stuff. I can make anything out of all of my basics that I would ever want to eat. Tip number 4 is just don't buy all kinds of colors of socks, but buy maybe 2 different colors or patterns, whatever. If you like patterns, go ahead and buy patterns. But it's very useful to have several socks that are the same because, first of all, they break, they have holes sometimes, and then you can sometimes even pair it with another sock from another pair that is still okay, where maybe also there was one hole in one side of them. Especially for kids, my daughter loses socks all the time, and since I've been using more of the same kind of socks, it's much easier to pair them up because then when we lose one, we can still find another one to pair it with. Of course, when you wash, it makes it much easier because if you have all the same socks, it's much easier to find the second one to pair them up. Tip number 5, and this is only for people who are interested in simplifying their wardrobe. If you love patterns and all kinds of different colors, by all means, wear what you love. But I think it has simplified my life by just not buying any crazy patterns or colors that are just like, you know, maybe hip or in right now. I just buy very neutral colors. I like whites, I like grays, I like blues, I like just light pinks, just pastel. And pretty much it goes with everything else. Like the blue goes with the gray, the blue goes with the white, the gray goes with the white, and the white goes with the light pink. So everything goes pretty much with everything else. And simplifying your wardrobe like that, just buying colors that are on a palette that looks good together, has simplified my life. Tip number 6 is to minimize decor. I don't have a lot of decor in my house. I don't have little knickknacks and little stuff standing around because I think it just makes it harder to dust. It also looks cluttery. For me, it's really nice to not have any stuff standing around that is not really necessary. Very minimal, mainly just having out what needs to be out that also can be used. I think in the kitchen, a coffee maker could be a decor, because that's, to me, that's already enough that is just standing around on the counter. I like it more minimalistic. It is much easier to clean and it's easier on the eye for me. Number 7 is so important. We spend so much time on our digital devices. Declutter your phone, declutter your computer, like your desktop. Organize what's on there. I have a video about digital minimalism. I actually have 2 videos. We'll put the links below or up here somewhere so you can check them out. I think in the digital world, that's where we have a lot of clutter. Our home may be in order, but our phones may be a mess, but even more so, like on the phone, you may not ever delete photos, and so it's always at the high capacity of how much you can save on there. And on your computer, it may be the same way, and your computer may be disorganized. You may be not able to find stuff, or you have stuff that you don't even need anymore. So organize your computer, organize your cloud, into folders, organize your phone, minimize even the visual clutter. Make sure you have a simple system, not tons of file folders, but very few folders where you put all your files in. Broader categories, I think that's easier to find stuff, but again, check out my videos about digital minimalism. Number 8, and that is so useful when you have kids. Kids like to keep a lot of stuff, like when they made a painting, and I like to keep, memorabilia, things that are sentimental items. But sometimes you may not need to keep the actual item. You can just take a picture of it, keep the photo, put it in your very well organized file folder online on the cloud or wherever you want to keep it, and then you can look at it without actually having the physical thing. Here's the thing. I have moved between continents several times, and I've had to leave a lot of stuff behind that I just now don't own anymore. And you know what? It's not that bad. It's not that terrible to not have those things anymore because I have the memories. They're in here and they're here. And I think it's so important. Even when I'm gone, I don't even want a grave with a tombstone or anything. This is very traditional here in Germany. I want to be cremated and then my ashes to be spread in our forest right here. There is something called Friedwald where I live. You can actually just put the ashes in the forest and then they will plant a tree and they put a little plaque on the tree, has your name on it, and so it's like, this is your tree. Your life has faded, but a new tree is coming forth. And I think this is a nice idea because I wouldn't want my children to then, spend a lot of money for a grave and the tombstone and then have to take care of it all the time, because here in Germany the graves are really like a little garden. You have to plant stuff on it and always take care of it, or then you have to pay someone like a gardener to take care of it, and I wouldn't want that. I just want it simple. I don't want anyone, I want my children to remember me as a memory and not the stuff. I don't want anyone to be burdened down by the stuff I left behind, because it's not important. What is important is right in your heart, and nobody could ever take it away from you. That's for me. I'll just take a picture of something or just have a memory. And sometimes, to be honest, the actual thing isn't as valuable as the memory. Tip number 9 to simplify things: drink water. You can absolutely get used to only drinking water. You can put lemon in it or lime. I always love to make my little mixture of just filtered water or non-filtered water, depending on where you live. We have excellent water where I live. Then put a little bit of lime in it, a little bit of cayenne pepper, and fresh cut up ginger, and leave that overnight. It is so amazing. It is very refreshing. There's a lot of stuff you can do with water where you could just put little things inside that are actually also healthy. But I think just drinking water simplifies your life. And I don't mean water in plastic bottles. I realize you can't do that everywhere where you live, but check your water. If you have good quality tap water, you can just drink tap water. You can also filter the water or buy water in glass bottles. The plastic is so bad. And I know in the States, it's not anywhere where it's here in Germany. Here in Germany, we can actually buy a case of water bottles that is all glass bottles. And then we bring the case with the glass bottles that are emptied back. And they take it back, and then you get your money back it's almost like you're giving a deposit, and then you bring back the case, and then you buy a new one. But I think drinking water is not only the healthiest, it's also the simplest way to get your fluids. And the last tip, number 10, is have a proper dumping zone. You need to have a dumping zone where you put stuff where you don't even know right away, what am I supposed to do with it? So for example, have a dumping zone right where you come inside your door. You can have a basket and put stuff in. You can have a dumping zone for keys and little things like that you just need to put somewhere, like keys and coins, right when you come in the door. You can have a dumping zone for paper. I have my basket, it's called Sunday basket, but technically I don't go through it every Sunday. But the basket where I put all papers, all mail that doesn't need to be in the trash, I put it all in there. I just have a dumping zone. I also have dumping zones at the bottom of my stairs because we have 3 levels in our house, and it's a lot of going upstairs and downstairs, always stairs. And so I just dump stuff in a basket or in something like in a container by the stairs, and then when I go upstairs next time, I'll take it all with me. That way I don't have to go up every single time. So these are my 10 tips to simplify your life. Please let me know in the comments if you have anything to add. I'm so interested always in finding more ways to simplify, and I know there's so much you can do. We make things more complicated sometimes than they need to be. Thank you so much for watching today. It's great that you're here. Consider subscribing if you have not already. If you want to see more videos about minimalism, decluttering, just simple lifestyle, and being healthy in the process. Have a great day. I hope to see you next time. Bye.